the Indian Premier League, one of the most popular sporting tournaments in the world, is getting underway today. But those looking forward to watch it on their telly may have to shell more due to a standoff between RIL-owned cable firms and TV right holders Disney Star. Around 20 million television viewers who are subscribers of a major multi-system cable operators like Den Network, Hathway Cable and Datacom and GTPL Hathway will see Star Sports and other channels of Star removed from their basic plans effective tomorrow, 1st of April, which means that they will have to pay on a particular fee, and in order to view these channels, they will have to go online. My colleague Shamal Shantikari, who tracks media and broadcasting space, is here to explain what consumers are up against. Shamalu, what does it really mean for subscribers?
Thank you, Shweta, for having me on the show. As once again the season of cricket is here. IPL, one of the world's most hot sporting properties, is set to get underway today, and India is a cricket crazing country, but unfortunately those who want to watch it on the telly on HD, they may have to shell out more if they are subscribers of three MSOs, Den, Hathway and GTPL Hathway. That's because most of these firms which are owned by RIL, which is a competitor of Star and which has the digital rights of IPL, they are vying for eyeballs, competing with the Star, which has the television rights. So in that case, like always, we see that consumer is the king, but in India that's not the case, because every major sporting property, when it is about to happen, we've all seen this standoffs between the multi-system operators and the channels, and like always the consumer has to pay through their noses, because in a battle of attrition, I think somewhere someone has to lose, and unfortunately in India that is the consumer.
It's the consumers who are losing. Absolutely. Lloyd Mathias, who's also a strategist, joining us at this point in time. Lloyd, why do linear television subscribers have to be on the receiving end of disruption? And they have been in the past few years, and generally speaking, and specifically when it comes to big ticket sporting events when they're just around the corner.
I think a slightly qualified response to that, Shweta. I think clearly, as Shamalia pointed out, the linear TV subscribers that are part of these three cable networks will obviously have a bit of a problem. But I think to kind of contextualize the genesis of the problem, I think for the first time in the IPL's 15-year history, have the digital and the broadcasting rights got split. Traditionally, it's always one media network that's bought both. And obviously, their focus has been selling the television rights, and digital was a kind of afterthought. I think this year, BCCI justifiably split the rights down the middle. And clearly, Disney acquired the broadcasting rights for Star Sports. And what happened was Network 18 acquired the OTT, or the digital rights. Now, obviously, Network 18 and through Jio Cinema, what they're doing is they're trying to obviously popularize the OTT channel Jio Cinema, and therefore they've made it completely free. And they're doing a whole skew of, you may have seen the commercials with Dhoni, with Sachin, talking about customization. I think what they're doing is slightly unfair, but using the Reliance-owned channels, the digital, the cable channels, these three networks, and therefore charging for Star. Ideally, the consumers would have got a great deal all across, but now obviously consumers or viewers of these three cable networks have a bit of a problem. So you're right, linear TV subscribers are going to have a problem. But in general, I think it's a positive development, because suddenly digital is going to be that much more mass. Suddenly you're going to see a spate of OTT growth, because Jio Cinema is eventually an OTT channel. And you're really looking at about 150 to 200 million people actually watching the IPL out of Jio Cinema, with all the features that go with it, right? So the customization, the repeats, the slow motions, 18 language offers. So I think it's an interesting proposition. In the long run, the viewer and the consumer will only benefit, barring for this initial hiccup.
So if I may ask, obviously Jio is betting big on digital because they've got the rights. Even Star would have loved to have those rights with Hotstar, because they were the ones who pushed it initially when they had got it the rights the first time around. But internet connections in many parts of the country are still patchy, and in India cricket viewing is kind of family event, especially during weekends. Don't you think that way, where also a number of subscribers in small towns are still dependent on MSOs, don't you think it's a bit hard on them?
I think you're right, Somali. It's partially hard. Jio tried it out, obviously, with the FIFA World Cup last November, December. And then we saw initially they had lots of teething problems. I think what they're doing is the two-pronged. I think at one level, you see Reliance wants to control the entire ecosystem, right? We're talking of 750 to 800 million internet users, of which roughly about 450 million have broadband. Now Reliance is pushing hard on fiber. So I think what they're effectively doing is by making the OTT channel JioCinema free, by offering all these customized options, by offering 18 language commentary for the IPL, I think they're actually forcing OTT down the population strata. So you're effectively going to have a lot more viewers switch into OTT thanks to the IPL. Obviously, there'll be some issues, but this is their big push. Now, if you look at the economic Somalia, you understand that historically, 85% of the revenues of an IPL were realized through broadcast, through the television, television advertising. Only 15% came out of digital, right? So even within Star Television, Star Sports was big. Hotstar was a bit of an afterthought. I think right now with the bids of digital overtaking television, all of a sudden, I think one will see a lot more competition dynamics. It's effectively like what happened in the telecom sector in 2016 when Jio came and changed the rules of the game, right? Suddenly voice became free and such like. So I think this disruption just started. And in the next 6 months to a year, one will see a huge disruption. So a lot more Indians will get on to OTT, and therefore the spread of broadband will increase. And I think in the long run, therefore, it's a positive development for all.
So where will you be watching? Will it be on the mobile connected or medium, or will it be on the HD screen on Star?
I think it's very tempting to say one would watch it on the HD screen because it's the large format and whatever. But nowadays, the fact that you're on the move, you're traveling. Presently, I'm traveling. It's so much more easier. And I think I'm quite excited about the whole customization. You can see snippets, you can see moments, you can replay it, you can watch slow-mos. I think those really make it beneficial. Secondly, and I think for Shweta's earlier point, I think for advertisers, the OTT offers a whole range of possibilities. Suddenly, I can customize by city, right? So if I want to target audiences in Jaipur, I can have a separate kind of communication reach out to only the OTT people watching IPL through JioCinema there. I think that brings a lot of small advertisers in. I don't need to be a national player. I could be a sari shop in Jaipur targeting only that segment. I think that's the real power that they are unleashing through this whole strategy.
Okay. Lloyd, just a last question before I let you go. With Viacom 18 picking up digital rights of IPL at an astronomical price, and TV rights holder like Disney Star also going aggressively on live television as the preferred medium, how do you see the ecosystem evolving in years to come?
I think two people are laughing all the way to the bank. I think the first is franchise owners. Everyone tells you that, the original franchise owners, the Shah Rukh Khans of KKR, the Ambanis, of course, I think suddenly realize that they get 50% of all the media rights, right? And no one 15 years ago assumed the media rights would reach these astronomical levels. The two big networks have bid about 53,000 crores over 5 years, right? 25,000 by Star and about 26,000 by Network 18. So I think that's huge, and 50% goes, so that's one. Two is, I think, thanks to disruption, this will increase the spread of OTT. JioCinema will suddenly kind of go national, which will be a very positive development. So I think that's the big part. And I think lastly, cricket and BCCI is the winner, because effectively IPL, which is already a huge brand, which has really changed the dynamics of cricket in India and indeed the cricketing world, will only become larger. So you're talking about IPL being among the top 3 sporting properties in the world. So I think in that sense, it's a positive development. It's the classic example of commerce coming together with sport to actually make this, this game go completely international.
Okay, game is going international. Lloyd Mathias, Shomal Shantakari, thanks very much, gentlemen, for joining with your inputs on that.